Here we're to graph this function g of x equals the square root of 5x minus 7 over the interval from 0 to 10. So let's make a little table, xy table, of points that are on the graph of this. And notice that if x is equal to 0, 0 minus 7 is negative, undefined. Well, for us it's not real. You may recall from your last class that that's an imaginary number. But right now, just note that it's not real. In fact, it's not real until 5x minus 7 equals 0. This happens when 5x is equal to 7, adding 7 to both sides, then dividing by 5. So when x equals 7/5, then y is equal to 0, because the square root then would be the square root of 0, which equals 0. So next, let's find x equals 2. At 2, g of x is 5 times 2, which is 10. So that's the square root of 10 minus 7 is the square root of 3. Let's jump up to 5. Then we have the square root of 5 times 5 minus 7, which is 25 minus 7. 25 minus 7 is the square root of 18. And that's 9 times 2, so the square root of 9 is 3 radical 2. But this form is fine for us. Let's just say it's the square root of 18. Now let's just jump up to 10, the other end point of this interval, and see what we've got. The square root of 10 times 5 minus 7. 5 times 10 minus 7. That's 50 minus 7. So 50 take away 7 is 43. So that's the square root of 43. So we now have a few points on the graph. We should be able to graph this. But first let's see what these are approximately as decimals. The square root of 3 is 1.73. Approximately. The square root of 18 is 4.24 approximately. The square root of 43 is approximately 6.56. So we can graph this. So x is going out to 10. And it's only at 7/5. Now 7/5 is 1.4. So that's the first point on the graph. At 7/5, we have the x-intercept here because y is 0. When x is 2, y goes up to 1.73. Now this goes up to, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is 6, so anyway, this goes up to 1.73, so that's 1, 2. 1.73 is about this height. So at 2, that's 1, 2. We're already up to this height. That's the number 2 on the x-axis. The next point is when x is equal to 5, and we have to go up to 4.24. That's 3, this is 4. 4.24 is somewhere around here. And finally at 10 we go all the way up to, when x is 10 we go up to 6.56, which is about this height. So the graph between 0, between 0 here and 10 looks like this. Anyway, that's approximately what the graph looks like. That's the graph of y equals g of x between x equals 0 and x equals 10.